Well, hello there. Hey, folks. I am Professor Johnson. Welcome to Fashion in 10 Introduction to the Fashion Industry. So, fashion merchandising, fashion design, either way, we're going to learn a little bit about both. Our two disciplines, those two disciplines are very symbiotic, interconnected. So, we are going to dive in together. Okay. And then at some point, we will branch off separately as you get through the program. But I'm excited to have you here. This is just the first video, just a little intro to me, and then we'll move on to what to expect and all the other stuff on some of the subsequent pages. But again, I'm Professor Tara Johnson. I was a Chafee student many moons ago. I'm not going to date myself by saying when, but I was a Chafee student. And while I was a student, I did all the things wrong. Never saw a counselor, didn't get an F plan, just transferred when I was ready. So don't do those things. But ultimately, I graduated from San Diego State with a degree in history, and it took me a long time to actually make any money using that degree. Once I started teaching that, actually the history part came in really handy. But in all honesty, my history degree trained me to think critically. It trained me to speak in front of a group, which I literally make a living doing that now. And it really made me a people person as well. So, because people are like, why do you have a degree in history? So you have to kind of explain that kind of stuff. I spent a really long time, like the first 20 years of my career, working retail. So I started in college at some place that doesn't exist anymore. It's called Miller's Out. It was called Miller's Outpost, and I worked there through college. And then when I graduated, I started working at Nordstrom's in Montclair. That's a place now, Montclair Plaza, which is the Nordstrom there. Doesn't exist anymore. It hurt my heart when they closed that store. So I worked at Nordstrom's for almost 10 years. I moved to Nordstrom's, moved with Nordstrom's to the East Coast when they started opening stores in New Jersey. And ultimately, when I left Nordstrom's, so my Nordstrom track, I was a super salesperson. Almost sold $1 million one year. It was so close. Super salesperson, department manager, and ultimately, when I left Nordstrom's, I worked in the children's shoe buying office. I bought replenishment shoes. So I bought the shoes that we always wanted to keep in stock. So baby shoes and some Nikes and some Stride Right. Left Nordstrom's and went to work for Ralph Lauren for the outlet division. Loved working at Ralph. Ralph was a different side than Nordstrom's. Nordstrom's was mostly we bought 95% of our stuff from vendors, and then the production piece, I wasn't in the production piece. But at Ralph, we did complete production for the outlet store. So we started from CADs, so sketches. We started from sketches of designer stuff. So we would take black label, purple label, blue label, some just polo sports stuff, and reconfigure it for the outlet customers. So we started from CAD. We worked with the factories. We picked fabric and trim and buttons and what color the player was going to be, the opponent player was going to be on the shirt. So that was a great experience, and it was a lot of money. So when I was at Ralph, I was responsible for about 25 million in sales. So I had about a $10.5 million budget annually for the outlet stores, and everything in the outlet store, not everything, 99% of stuff in the outlet store is made for the outlet stores first. So it comes directly from the factory. So that was a great experience. Then I met my husband, and he was going to law school in Buffalo. So we moved to Buffalo, and I worked for a really small retailer there, urban retailer there. This was in the Sean John Fat Farm Baby Fat days. So that was a great experience, bringing some flavor to Buffalo. When my husband graduated from law school, we moved to California and started having little Johnsons. And that buyer life was not for me anymore. I couldn't take the traveling, being away from home, and the long hours. So I transitioned to something else. And oddly, teaching was not the first thing I transitioned to. So I really actually got hired back at Chafee, buying books for the bookstore. So books cost too damn much. I just say that. It's not the bookstore's fault. The instructor picks the book. The bookstore just prices it. And when you get to the textbook in this class, you'll be happy to know it's the best price. FREE. So for this class, you do not have to buy a book. I'm going to give you access to a database that has all of the reading that you'll need. So best price. So I started back at Chafee. I went back and got my master's degree in management, totally intended for teaching to be a side hustle. And look at me now, like here I am now. So yes, I got a degree in management, and I was teaching entrepreneurship and retail merchandising management on the business side, so for the business administration side. And then I ended up over here at my first love, So I'm so excited that you're here with me at my first love, and hopefully you are launching into your first love too. So I say all that to say that, retail can get you a lot of places. It's more likely than not a direct line. You may do a bunch of little things before you get there. Or you may not know what you want to do and you want to fall into it. So that's kind of what the purpose of, not kind of, that is explicitly what the purpose of this class is, right? Oftentimes when people think fashion merchant, fashion design, they think store manager or buyer, or they think designer. And I'm going to expose you to a lot more careers that are in there, and a little bit of the beauty space too. So strap on. We're in for a great ride. So I'm excited that you're here. After this module, dive in, just hit the next page, and I will specifically go through what to expect every week. And I'll see you on the other side. Bye.